my name is Kate. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we're going to see part 2 of the pages that I completed before I started my YouTube channel. If you didn't see part 1 of this video yet, I will link it up in the cards above, so do make sure you go and check that out. This video was inspired by my friend Polly over at Polly Puts the Color On, so I will make sure I also link her channel down in the description box below. If you didn't see her versions of this video, do make sure you go and check them out as well, because I think it's such a fun idea, being able to showcase the pages that we colored before we all joined this coloring community here on YouTube. So in part 1 of this video, we saw the pages that I colored in November and December 2024, as well as January 2025. And I thought that today we would look at the pages I colored in February, March, and April, because I started my coloring channel in May. But as I was flagging the pages to show you in today's video, I thought, I'm sure I've talked about some of these on my channel. And so I went back to double check. And of course, I started my channel in May, but I started filming my April's completed pages video as my first video. So today we will look at the pages I colored in February and March only. Let's start with my Secrets of the Sea pocket coloring edition. I colored this page. It was in March. So again, just like I said in my last video, I won't show these in, the order that I colored them. I will just go through and show you everything I colored from the same book. And then we will go to the next book and so on. So I colored this page in March, and I tried to stick to quite a limited color palette. I was very pleased with how the water turned out in particular. I also used some glitter gel pen here on the little nose of this humpback whale. I'm not sure if you can really see it on camera. But yeah, that was what I colored in this book in the months of February and March. Next up, we have Small Victories. I colored one page in this book as well, and it was this one here. I used my Inktense to create this background, but I hadn't quite gotten a hang of how to do a gradient with my Inktense yet. To be fair, I'm not sure I've still got the hang of that now, so no wonder I couldn't do it way back in February. But I had a go, and it's not too bad. I'd recently discovered, the whole galaxy white lines style of coloring, so that's what I was going for here. I used my jelly roll to go over all the lines of this little heart. And of course, February was also Valentine's Day, so I wanted, to get on the coloring hearts theme. February is my birthday month, so one of the books that I decided to treat myself to for my birthday was this Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls. And as soon as it arrived, I colored this page here. I thought it was quite suitable because, she's got these little cupcakes and chocolate covered strawberries in her hair, and it's also got lots of hearts for Valentine's Day as well. I loved coloring in this book, so I colored another page in February as well. It was this one. I wanted to experiment with different skin and hair colors, and again, I'm really happy with how she turned out, although of course I still had lots to learn, and still do now as well when it comes to coloring skin and hair. I also colored this one, and this page I colored in March. By this time I was starting to experiment with, adding deeper shadows both to clothing but also to the skin and hair, and you can really see, I think, a big difference. It's looking a lot more dimensional than these other two pages that I colored in February. So already I was making some progress with my coloring. Yeah, that was the last page I colored in this book in the months of February and March. I colored one more page in Minorica Africa as well during this time, and it was this chameleon page. This page was another body color, and I struggled with it quite a bit actually, because I loved this page a lot, and I had no idea, how I wanted to color it. I'd seen so many beautiful versions of this page, and I wanted to try to make mine a bit different. I knew I wanted it really bright and colorful, so I decided to go for kind of this rainbow chameleon, trying to create a gradient between these different shades. And I think I did quite well with this gradient, especially, you know, in certain areas like this orange to yellow or this yellow to green. I think those gradients turned out really, really nice. But I don't think the page as a whole is very cohesive. Again, I knew that I wanted it to be bright and colorful, but I had no idea what to do with this background, for example. But again, for an early page, I'm quite happy with how it turned out and came together in the end. As I said, February was my birthday month, and I decided to color this little birthday cake in Matchstick Mouse. I also colored some more pages here as well. I just got my Artex alcohol markers during this time. So here I was experimenting with using them to create a gradient, which again, I think I definitely need more work on. Even today, I'm not great at creating gradients with my alcohol markers. So it's definitely still, you know, something that I'm working on. And then I colored this one with the tulips in March. You know, I was trying to get into a spring mood. We still had snow and cold weather here. So I was really, you know, wanting to get into that spring mood. And that was the last page from this book. Now, for the first half of 2025, I had Moon Valley as my project book. So, of course, I colored some more in this book. In February, I colored this page, which was another body color page. It was my first time trying a bouquet effect background, and I was quite pleased with how it turned out. I also really like how these flowers came out. I think the color combination is really nice. And in March, I was doing some traveling and I took this book with me. And while I was away, I colored this page here. I like how it turned out. You know, again, it's giving kind of a spring feel. And I also tried to create, you know, a contrast between the still quite dark and gloomy, sometimes rainy weather with the more bright pops of color that are starting to appear in spring. And I think it turned out quite well. That was it for Moon Valley. During this time, I was really moving away from my Lulu Mayo books a bit after having colored a lot in them for the first 3 months of coloring, you know, just exploring some other options. But I did color this double page spread from A Million Unicorns. I believe I used my Inktense to create, you know, the grass and the sky in this page, and I wanted to try to fade it out a little bit. But it turned out to be a bit more difficult than I had imagined at first. But for a first attempt, I don't think it was bad. I also tried to stick to quite a limited color palette using, you know, the red, oranges and purples as my main colors. Then for February, I colored this Fae Darling page from Wildflower Folk. Again, I used my new Artex markers to base her skin and her hair, and I was really enjoying using them, I still remember. I used my Inktense to create this grass, and I used some of my shimmery watercolors here on her wings. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to show up on camera. I was really getting into, you know, trying to color some double page spreads. So from Romantic Country, I colored this double page spread. I had a look at all the chapter introduction pages and I decided this one was the least intimidating one, although I did see these trees, and if you watched my first part to this video and you saw me color and you saw me talk about coloring this page here with all the trees, you know that I was so over coloring these trees at the time, but I decided there's only 4 of them, I can do it, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Again, you know, just trying to be brave and getting some double page spreads colored. Then I bought this version of Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby, and I was quite intimidated to color in these books. I still feel quite intimidated coloring in Kirby's books, even though every time I do it, it always turns out easier than I had imagined. But I thought this page with the apples would be quite a nice one to start with. Again, I used my Inktense for the apples and also for the sky background, but I believe the rest of it was just color pencils. And as I said, although I felt quite intimidated getting started on this page, it was easier than I thought it was going to be. Another book that I found super intimidating to get started in was this Mermaid Legends by Anastasia Koldereva. And I started with this page here. I colored this page in March, and coloring this girl's hair took me so long. I think you can see though that I had started watching, some tutorials on how to do hair and things when I did this, because her hair looks a lot more lifelike than some of the hair that I colored, for example, in Wildflower Folk. I think I used alcohol markers to base her skin. Yes. And then I used my Inktense for the background, but the rest is just colored pencil. So that was the last page that I had to show you today from the pages that I colored in the months of February and March of this year before I started my channel. Let me know which one of these early pages was your favorite down in the comment section below. I'd also love to hear what you thought of this video idea. Again, I first saw it on my friend Polly's channel. Don't forget to check her out if you haven't already, because her versions of these videos are also great. And I thought it was such a fun idea that I really wanted to do it as well. So I really hope you have enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed watching her versions of these videos. It has felt a little bit, intimidating sharing these very early colorings, but I think it's really fun to see, the progress that I made, and I hope that you enjoyed it too. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos from me, I'd love to have you subscribing and sticking around. So do hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!